Most people know at this point that I used to be an actor, but it's tough. It's very easy for me to go in a scene and be a character for like a few minutes. And you also get to rehearse your lines and you get to practice and you really get to get into it, you know, and you get to, you know what's going to happen. But to improv and be a character, think like them, be like them, you know, talk to people that are talking to you and answer those questions like that person is more like a serious method acting type of thing, which is like a Daniel Day-Lewis type of vibe, or a Heath Ledger type of thing. And that stuff can affect you mentally if you're in that character, if you're acting as that character for too long. What's my IMDb page? You could look up the movie Swipe Club and you could figure it out. I think Swipe Club right there. That's the name of my movie that I made, produced, and acted in and edited when I was like 28. See, the problem with me, guys, is I became a content creator at a time when monetization didn't exist. That's how old I am. So I really feel like in my lifetime, I feel like I was born 5 to 8 years too soon in order to make a living off of what I was doing back then. Because I was making a lot of comedy skits, but I wasn't making any money off of them. And there was no monetization. You weren't getting paid for what you were doing. I think I have 400 million views on my Facebook. I got like 160,000 followers the first year that I was doing it. And I was like, there's no money in this. Like, I like this. I like doing this, but it's like, I can't sustain what I'm doing because I'm not making any money. And so I decided to quit making comedy videos. And I started writing a script with my friend, and me and my friend were going to make a movie together. And I was like, let's make some real money. Let's quit making all these, you know, short comedy skits, these 1 minute, 5 minute things, and let's make a real movie that we can maybe like market and make money off of. And I was like, I can do it. I told him straight up, I was like, I can make a movie. I know how to. I had worked in Hollywood for a long time as an extra, as an actor, and even in the camera departments and as a PA. So I had seen everything like behind the scenes, and I had made a bunch of my own short films. And I was like, it's basically just making a really good short film, but making a 90-minute one, right? So I was like, how hard could this be? Let's just send it. And so we cooked up a script and we started hiring the actors and the crew. I got most of my friends to be in the crew that kind of had no idea what they were doing. So I was trying to teach them what to do when we got on set. I was buying all the equipment. Most of the stuff we were making like Hollywood film equipment with stuff from Home Depot. We didn't have the money for the good stuff. So we were really just trying to figure out how we can make a Hollywood looking film for no money. And we ended up making Swipe Club. That was how it was born. I realized I wasn't gonna be able to make money off of these comedy videos because YouTube didn't have monetization yet at the time. Facebook didn't have it. You couldn't there was no TikTok. Vine just died and no one made money off Vine anyway. And yeah, like Instagram really wasn't making money yet either. So it was trying to figure out a way to make money at the time. And we made that film. Unfortunately, the film didn't make any money, which I figured out later that if you don't have money to advertise, then no one's going to know how to watch your film. But I used all the money that I had, even ran my credit cards up to make the film. I had nothing left over to advertise. So the film didn't really make much money. I realized now that like there's two important things that you need, probably three important things that I learned from making a film. Number one, you need to have everything in writing, no matter what it is. Even if your mom is in the movie, like you need to have it in writing, like how much she's getting paid or whatever. Like you need to have all that. Your best friend, your mom, doesn't matter. Everything has to be in writing when you do a movie. And if you are going to be the one putting down the money, you need to have control of everything. Number two, you need to have partially known actors and probably have a budget to pay actors that people know to be in your video, to be in your movie. The reason that Tom Cruise and all these guys, they get paid so much money is because people know who they are. It's clickbait. It's the same thing as a thumbnail for YouTube. If I make a video about Peekaboo, it's automatically going to get more views than I make a video about myself. People want to watch videos about Peekaboo because they know who he is. It's the same thing in movies. So having a known actor in your film is hugely important towards the success of your film. So even if I was to pay somebody who at the time was like an up and coming actor, let's say I paid like Logan Paul to be in the film and I had to pay him like the whole budget of the film, then that's what you got to do. You got to have one guy that somebody knows in there to try and generate clicks. And really it's the thumbnail. It's for the cover of the movie. It ain't because of their acting or nothing like that. It's oh, did you see that movie that Logan Paul's in? It's like, that's how it works. And then number three was you need about as much money on indie films. You need as much or more money to advertise the film as you do to make it. So just because you can make a film doesn't mean that you'll be successful or people will watch it. You have to be able to afford to advertise it as well. I had to shoot weddings for 5 years straight just to get out of debt. And then luckily once the making weddings and stuff and making corporate videos got me out of debt, finally, I was able to start my new journey of becoming a Twitch streamer. And I've always wanted to play World of Warcraft. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Being a streamer in the World of Warcraft section is very difficult, guys. You have to consistently consistently make content and you're competing against really good content creators that have been here for 10 years. People in the WoW section have been around. Pika, Zar, Savix, Peo, Guzu, all these guys, Andy Fuchsia, you know, they have been in the WoW section for a really, really long time, and they're fantastic streamers, right? And if you're streaming during one of those time slots, you know, you're competing against them. And it's just it's a tough thing to do to make it as a streamer, especially this day and age when there's not a lot of new people coming into the World of Warcraft section. If you think about it on a macro scale, like, you know, economically wise, like there's not a lot of new people coming into the space, right? World of Warcraft is indefinitely, it is kind of a dying game. Would you guys agree that more people are probably quitting WoW than starting to play it, than like new players that are just randomly starting to play it? I think at least from my perspective, that's kind of like how World of Warcraft is. So I think it's a tough game to make a career out of, if you will, when you put it into that perspective. Plus the new game, World of Warcraft retail, nobody wants to watch it. I mean, if you look at the viewers in the World of Warcraft section, like no one wants to watch retail WoW. It's just a fact, because retail WoW is so hard and it requires so many inputs. You can't really engage with your chat. You can't do things or fun events because like it's tough. Like maybe you could do like a normal raid with chat or something like that, but even a normal raid in retail is not easy, right? Yeah, Peekaboo is a perfect example, and Zaryu. Like look at what happened when they swapped off of retail. Infinite growth, because classic is the best game for streaming, 100%. So if you're gonna be a streamer or try to make it as a WoW streamer, you got to do it as a classic streamer. I mean, maybe there's a world where you go in there and you become the next like Quasi or Dratnos or Bellular, but those guys are doing really unique things. I mean, Bellular at this point is a news source for Blizzard. He's not even playing the game. He doesn't stream it. Dratnos, I don't think he streams as much anymore. He's more so like a host. You know what I mean? He's made a career off of being like a host and writing guides and stuff like that. I don't know if there's any more room for more content creators to enter the retail space and be successful. So ultimately, I think it's very tough to make it as a World of Warcraft content creator these days. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. With retail WoW, you don't even know what's going on the screen. Yeah, I can agree with that, RealZog. I've been streaming for 19 months, and I mean, you can look at where I'm at after 19 months and make your analysis on if that's good or not. But if I only had income from streaming right now, I wouldn't be able to pay my bills. And I've been streaming full time for 19 months. So just to give you an insight on how it is as a streamer, if anybody was thinking about doing it, you gotta be realistic about it. Most of the time as a streamer, for the first few years, you're gonna make less than minimum wage, and then you have taxes and stuff too. And then you have to also, once you get done streaming, you have to make videos if you can't pay an editor, which most people can't. So that's why I think some people meme on it when I think that they say streaming is hard. I think Hassan got memed for it. Like, he's saying streaming is harder than a real job. And it's not what I'm doing right now. What I'm doing right now is not harder than a real job. Standing right here, talking into the mic and playing video games is not necessarily harder than a real job. What's harder than a real job is all the shit that you have to do off screen and preparing your content and trying to create new content or exciting content for viewers to watch. And then when it bombs or it doesn't do well, you have to figure out like, okay, how did this go wrong? You know, what do I have to do to get better, etc. So it's also being your own marketing team and figuring out how to market yourself to get more viewers and produce content for multiple platforms and also manage your real life. But from what I see, a lot of people that stream are single. I'm looking around, I see a lot of people on Twitch, and there are a lot of single people on Twitch. Peekaboo streams every day, and it makes me wonder, like, how is he going to have a regular dating relationship if he has to stream every single day? Zaryu is by far the most normal live Twitch streamer that there is, and he's able to make it work. He takes 2 days off a week, right? Yeah, so he just like, he crushes it. And his wife, you know, his wife does so much for him behind the scenes, and that's why he's always like shouting out Shannon for being an absolute dub, because she takes care of the kid, you know what I mean? She brings him food, she does the errands, she pays the bills, probably she takes care of all that stuff so Zaryu can focus on the content and figuring that stuff out, right? It's a huge team effort. So yeah, Shannon Giga Chad right there. So you need somebody like that to even continue to be a streamer and be in a relationship, and you definitely probably need those days off. That's like something I'm looking for, which would be very hard to find. It's not easy to find that, you know what I mean? But he provides the money for sure. Oh yeah, that's great for him. But the thing is, like, what I'm worried about in a relationship is like, I'll try to find somebody like what Zaryu has. You know, I think a lot of people try to model their life after what Zar has going on because he's got a great thing. But for me, if I'm looking for a girl or trying to do that as well, you know, I don't make the same amount of money that he does now. So it's very very tough to like have a normal life and pursue being a streamer if that's what you really want to do. So that's where I say it's a lot harder to be a streamer than a normal job, because it's much easier for me to go make $100,000 a year at a normal job or a sales job, which I'm pretty good at sales, so I know I could do it, or make even more than that in like medical sales, but I wouldn't like that life. And so you have to put everything that you want to in life, you have to go for everything that you want to go for, and think about it. I think about this all the time. But when I get older, this is the one thing that always prevents me from quitting or even thinking about it, is when you get older and you look back on your life, the one life that you have, are you going to look back and say, I gave it everything? I went after my dream. I went after what I wanted to be. I went after every single thing I wanted to do in life. I did it. I did social media comedy. I made a movie. I became a Twitch streamer. I never worked for anyone. I always ran my own businesses. Those are the type of leaps that people are scared to make in life. And I know that one day I'm going to look back on my life and I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to always chase after what I'm going for, baby. But that's what we got to do. That's the motivation for today. I appreciate, but looking good just makes life easier. Guys, I am bald, cringe, and broke, okay? And we are out here trying to make it work. Team BCB, let's get it, baby.